Welcome, everyone, to Level Up Your English. I'm your host, Jenna.
And hello from me, David. This is the podcast that helps you speak English more confidently and naturally.
Today, we're tackling a topic that everyone, and I mean everyone, has to deal with, talking about yourself.
That's right. Whether you're in a new class, a job interview, or just meeting someone at a party, you'll be asked about your hobbies, your work, or what you're studying.
Exactly. And our goal today is to help you move beyond those simple robotic answers and start having real, flowing conversations. So let's dive in.
Okay, let's start with a fun one. Hobbies. Jenna, what are the most common ways people ask about this?
You'll often hear, "What do you do for fun?" Or a bit more formally, "What are your hobbies?"
And we often hear English learners give an answer that, while grammatically correct, sounds a little stiff. Something like, "My hobby is reading books."
Exactly. It's correct, but a native speaker would probably phrase it differently. For example, "I love to read," or "I'm really into science fiction novels right now."
"I'm really into" is a fantastic phrase. It shows real enthusiasm. You could also say something like, "I'm a big fan of hiking," or "In my free time, I enjoy playing the guitar."
Right. The trick is to add a little bit of detail. Don't just say, "I like cooking."
So, what's a better way to say that?
I really enjoy cooking, especially Italian food. I'm trying to perfect my lasagna recipe at the moment.
Wow, that makes such a difference. It's so much more engaging. It gives the other person something easy to ask about. They could follow up with, "Oh, I love lasagna. What's your secret ingredient?"
That's the whole point. You want to open the door for more conversation. The biggest mistake is the one-word answer. "What do you do for fun?" "Cooking." End of conversation.
The dreaded conversation killer. So the main tip here is answer the question, add one small interesting detail, and then maybe ask a question back, like, "What about you?"
All right, let's move on to something a bit more formal, talking about your work or your studies.
This is so important, especially for things like job interviews or networking events.
Definitely. So if you're working, a great formal phrase is, "I work as a software developer at a tech company." A little more casually, you could just say, "I'm a software developer."
Right. And notice Jenna said, "a software developer." A very common mistake for learners is to forget the article and say, "I am software developer."
It is. Another really useful and natural sounding structure is "I work in," followed by your industry or field. For example, "I work in marketing," or "I work in education."
I like that one. It's general, but still informative. So what if you're a student? How would you answer?
You could say, "I'm studying engineering at the University of Toronto," or for a shorter version, "I'm an engineering student."
And are there any big mistakes to avoid when talking about work or studies?
I would say the biggest one is using too much technical jargon. You know, those very specific words that only people in your field would understand.
That makes perfect sense. So instead of saying, "I optimize asynchronous JavaScript frameworks to enhance client-site rendering performance,"
Right, which would make most people's eyes glaze over.
you could just say, "I'm a web developer and I help make websites run faster."
Exactly. It's clear, accessible, and it actually allows the other person to understand and ask a real follow-up question.
Okay, I think it's time to put all of this together. Let's demonstrate with a quick role play. Ready, Jenna?
Let's do it. You can start.
Okay, hi, I'm David. It's nice to meet you.
Hi, David. I'm Jenna. Great to meet you, too. So, what do you do?
I work in graphic design. I mainly create logos and branding for small businesses, which is really rewarding. What about you?
That sounds fascinating. I'm actually a student right now. I'm studying environmental science at the local university.
Oh, wow. That's such an important field these days. What do you enjoy most about it?
I love the field work, getting outside and into nature. Speaking of which, in my free time, I'm a big fan of hiking. I actually just explored a new trail last weekend.
Okay, and pause. See what happened there? We didn't just give one-sentence answers.
Mm-hmm. It wasn't just I'm a designer and I'm a student. We both added a little extra detail and asked questions back to each other.
And the conversation just flowed. That's the goal.
So to wrap everything up, let's review our 3 main tips for talking about yourself more naturally in English.
Don't just give a one-word answer. Use natural phrases like I'm into or I enjoy to describe your hobbies.
Number 2, add a small, interesting detail to your answer. This gives the other person a hook and invites them to ask a follow-up question.
And number 3, always try to ask a question back. Remember, a conversation is a two-way street, not an interview.
That's right. If you practice these simple tips, we guarantee you'll find yourself having much more natural and enjoyable conversations in English.
We really hope you found this episode helpful.
If you did, please take a moment to like the video and subscribe to our channel for more English learning tips.
Thanks for listening to Level Up Your English.
We'll see you next time. Bye.